Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, where we're holding in Metzia Daf Zayin. This is the tail end, or the last part, at least, of the Daf yesterday regarding the Tokfa Kohen. As we mentioned, Tokfa Kohen went into the idea of Tokfa Kohen and different shittas in the Rishonim and the Mahalach of the Sugya, mainly the Shita of the Taisis and the Shita of the Ran, some of the Divrei Achronim, and as we concluded the previous Daf, ended with a question on the Rambam that seems to be contradicting himself. Now the Gemara mentioned in previous daf, the idea of Sfeikos, Nichnosim L'Dir L'Yisasim. Right, we learned about, it says that if you have, we learned that if you have a Sfeikos, you have a suffix, you still bring it to do Maisa. That's what the Gemara brought yesterday, in yesterday's daf. And we wanted us to bring from here, what do you mean Sfeik is if you have a bunch of people, and you have a bunch of animals, and one of them, or some of them, or Suffolk, maybe they're a B'chayr, you still do Meiser. The Gemara, what they bring around from here, that you see that the Kohen cannot take it away from Israel. That was what the Gemara brought around. Says the Gemara now, with the Zayin and Mudalef, fourth line from the top. My Sveikos. What is it Sveikos? Ilam is Suffolk B'chayris. Talk about someone, animals, I just said now, that it's a Suffolk B'chayr. How can you bring it into Meiser to be counted as Par Meiser Be'imo? The Torah says that you need to make something into Kodesh, or not something which is already Kodesh. So if you have a Suffolk B'chayr, there may be a problem. It says the Gemara, Suffolk Pidyon Petach Hamor. We're talking about a Suffolk Pidyon Petach Hamor. What does it mean, Suffolk Pidyon Petach Hamor? When you have, the din is, when you have a B'chor, a donkey, who is a firstborn, he has a Kedushas B'chayr. What do you have to do in order to rectify it? You have to go and redeem the chamor with a sheep. That's what you have to do. Now you're not sure if this chamor is a b'chor or not, and then you have you paid it just with a sheep. You're not sure if this sheep has a kedusha or not. Not sure. That's what we're talking about. It's a fake pidyon b'nei chamor. Kedav Nachman. What's the case? Sing one like Rav Nachman. Tomam Nachman Omar Bavuy Sol Sheyesh Lo Asor Sofik Pidyon Chamor B'Tach Beiser. Person has in his house 10 animals, which they all are Sofik. We're all not sure what they are. So then, Mafish Shalem Asor Sayin, right? Because you have the Pidyon Chamor that you don't know what they are. So again, Sofik Pidyon Chamor means 10 donkeys, which you're not sure if they're b'chor or not. So what do? You take 10 sheep, umasu, and you do a meiser. Mafisha masose, umaisa mem shalom. So then what do you do with it? You make a meiser. Why do you make a meiser over here? As Rashi points out, Tolashu Fajol Sofik Petachamor, Shafilu Petachamor, Vada, even if it's Petachamor, hey, but Tolazush Pidim Shuk Dusho. The Tola that redeems the donkey doesn't have Dusho. So therefore, I have a suffix, I just don't know who's the owner. I know if the owner is the Kohen or me. But it's not Kadosh, so therefore you can do it in Meiser. Says the Gemara, what's the maskana regarding Mesusa? What's Mesusa? Mesusa is what we mentioned in the previous daf. You have two people. They went and they captured, the argument who owns the bathhouse. This is the bathhouse. Shaila is who has it. One went, it was Magdishit. Made it Kodesh. Now the Shaila is, if you made it Kodesh, what do? Is it Kodesh or not? The Rabban did not want to go into that bathhouse. So Mor said, brought a question, is can you do Hegdesh or not? If it's an argument, who it is? There was a story in the house of Chisdo, and the story of Rav Huna, and Rav Chisda took the story to Rav Huna. Upashto, and he answered me, Domam Nachman, Kol Mamon, Shetechol Etzia B'dayonim, any Mamon that you're not able to extract with Dayonim, Higdishoy and a Kadosh. So then if you make a Kadosh, it's not Kadosh. So that's the answer. The answer is, because you can't take it with Dayanim. What's the case? You have two people that are arguing. Who owns this bathhouse? One says I own, one says I own. Okay. What do you do? I don't take it out. So can you go and extract your dayanim? Answer is no, you can't extract your dayanim. So therefore, you can't do hekdesh. Hayachal itziv dayanim, hikdush kodesh. Masha, if he does have a way to take out the dayanim, the hekdesh is kodesh. Even though he did not actually go and take out the item from the person who's holding on to it. So the Gemara of someone stole and the owner was not Messiahish. They both can make it hekdesh. One because it's not his, he's the Gazlan, so he can't make it hekdesh. And one because not B'Shusa, the owner, it's not his possession. So that's what we learn about Bakama. You can't do it. So what do you see? How can you do hekdesh? This is time a shy on the whole sugya. How can you do hekdesh? Something's not B'Shusa. Says the Gemara, Misovas Mesusa Metaltali. You're talking about a bathhouse which is immovable, which is Metaltali. Askinon Mesusa Mekalike Askinon. Talking about a bathhouse which is a land connected to the ground. In other words, if you think of a dayanim, it is b'shusay because it never leaves the possession. Karka doesn't move, so it's in your possession. Right? So what is the Gemara Maskana? The Gemara's Maskana is the case of Masuso. If you can't think of a dayanim, you can't make it hekdesh. You can't make it hekdesh. We didn't conclude what happened to Tok Koyin. Tok Koyin, if someone grabs onto it, the shayla if it says or not, that we don't know. We don't know. But a hekdesh, we said anybody you can't take out, so it's not hekdesh. So it's not hekdesh. Now, as we mentioned, we said yesterday is not an important thing. The fact that he can't Metzia with dayanim, why does it make it not hekdesh? Maybe it is this. So here you see the Yesod that's brought down in the Achronim. And the Yesod is that anything which is dini mominus makes it yours. If Beizin say you keep it and nobody can take it out from you, so one of the din is also the Gabi Yisurim, it's yours. Yisurim, Hegdesh, Nedarim, because the Yisurim follow the moment. That's the Yisurim of Shivin Shkov. If I own it from Beizin perspective, so the Yisurim follow the moment. So Gemara Tani Rav Tachlifa Bama Rova Kamid Ravo. It said in front of Ravo. Shnaim Aduki Matalis. Two people holding on to Talis. Zen no Ital Makoshedo Magas. Vertel Makoshedo Magas. Vashar Cholki Mishavi. Oh, now we go back to our story. We have two people holding on to one talis. We learned in our Mishnah of Pashas. Yachlaiku. You take the talis, divide into two. Says of Techlifo in front of Ravo, no. What do you do? He brings a brisa. What do? You don't just divide it half. Whatever the first person is holding in his hand, that's his. Whatever the other person is holding in his hand, that's his. Whatever is in the middle, what do? You split. You don't just split it half and half. Whatever's in your hand. That chalukah you do b'shvuah. The division that you do, except when you're holding on to, you do b'shvuah. Says the Gemara, in our Mishnah it says you divide it equally. You don't say that each one should take whatever's on his hand. That will be the case if you want to say the Mishnah doesn't argue with this. They're not holding on to the begit. They're holding on to the karkashta. What's a karkashta? Karkashta is like a handle, like the thing that's sticking out. From the Rashi calls it the gradim. What?
The fringes.
The fringes. You're not holding on the actual begit. So then you split the begit equally. But if whatever someone's holding in his hand, that part that he's holding in his hand is his. That's the okay. This goes very well. Just to mention again, we mentioned so many places that before. The Toys is that basically that says whatever you hold on and Sunday that it's yours. It's considered to be yours because you're holding on to it. Yep. What's the question? Fringes means not really part of the begit. I'm talking about the ikar begit, the main clothing. Nobody's touching the main clothing. They're just touching the fringes. You're not touching the begit. So with the begit, you split it half and half. But if they were holding the begit, whatever you hold on to is yours. Says now that we see that whatever you're holding on to is yours. So when a person wants to do kinyan sudar, how do you do kinyan sudar? You have to take a baguette after the kid is sudder. Right? That's what the kid, what's called chalifin. You pick up like you do in the chasana. You pick it a yarmulke, you pick a handkerchief, and with that you do it. You don't have to pick up the entire handkerchief. As long as you're holding a baguette which is shalosh, right? You need to have 3 fingers and 3 fingers. You have a baguette, even though the rest of the baguette is not in your hand. The command deposit you will have a kidney over here because it's considered to be cut off. So whatever is under your hand is considered to be yours. Says the Gemara. Just 1 second, just to mention. The Gemara says you have to do a shvuah. What do you have to do a shvuah for? So the pashtus, especially the gears that we have, it says vashar. The rest you do shvuah only in the rest. Whatever is holding on to is yours. Shvuah is on the other half. That's how the Rambam learns. Taisus argues. Taisus learns that you do shvuah on the whole thing. Now, the Rambam also agrees you do shvuah on the whole thing. But why do you do shvuah on the whole thing? What's the reason you do shvuah on the whole thing? The Rambam learns you do shvuah on the whole thing only because gildul shvuah. Mikadin, you have to do shvuah only on the rest. Once you're doing shvuah on the rest, you do shvuah also on what you're holding. But if you're not doing shvuah on the ikar, on anything, you won't. Or let's say you have mechila on that part, you won't do shvuah on what he's holding on to. Taisus learns you do shvuah also what you're holding on to. So you have your mechilek. Do you have a shvuah on the thing that you're holding on to? Says the Gemara. What's the difference between this and Rav Chisda? If the woman is holding on to a get, and the husband is holding on to a rope, to a string that is tied to the get, if the husband can pull the get by pulling out the string, takes the string and pulls it out, and he's able to reach the get, so this is Einim Megreshis. But if not, she is Megreshis. Right? You can take it out or not. So what do you see over here? You see that even though she's holding on to the get, I don't say what she's holding on to is hers. As long as the husband is able to pull it out, it's considered to be not hers. What I hear when I'm saying Shtai Ruksa Vitalis, if someone's holding on to whatever is under his hand, it belongs to him. It says the Gemara also Krisus Bein and Veleku. Here you need to have krisus, you have to have complete separation between the husband and wife. And as long as the husband still has some kind of ability to connect to the get and pull out the get, it's not considered to be a complete division. You just have to give it. You gave it once it's holding it on his hand, you give it. Just to mention, this is now the sugya. This is more the sugya in Maseches Gittin. That regarding how do you treat, how exactly does it work when you have a get biyod and mishicha biyod? Big discussion that we're showing. Tam shita is that the woman has to have the get. He says the woman has to be. We're trying to ask a question. Wait till he says over here. Let's say she has a get and he has the mishicha, so you can pull it out. So make her hold the get stronger. She will hold it like this, like you hold a basketball in the middle of a game. You hold the game. She got to get out. Says Taisus that doesn't work. Says Ibn Tam. It needs to be that the husband gives her a get in a way he can't take it back. But if when he gives the get, he could take it back. Then she pulls it herself. It's not v'nosa b'yado. It needs to be that he is doing it. So therefore, says the Taisus that the way the husband has to give the get, it says Ibn Tam, he has to stick the get into her hand. She has to close her hand, and he has to stick the get into the hand in a way that she can't pull it out. Because if not, you have a problem that it's not v'nosa b'yado. So b'yado means in a place where he can't take it back when he gives it. And much more about the Rishon has to do with the Gemara and get in the Ches, but let's leave it with that. Says the Gemara, so that's what we divide between here and get. So says the Gemara, in my tat talis was heavis. If there was gold in the talis, Cholkim, they split it in half. So the Gemara pshita, of course. Well, what's the chiddush? The gold is right in the middle. So the Gemara pshita also pasha. I said divide the talis, whatever the talis is. If the talis has gold in the middle, they'll divide the talis as well. Says the Gemara, the gold is closer to one of them. What is the Gemara saying? Let's assume that this is the get. This is the talis. The gold is where? The gold is right now over here. Closer to this side. So the guy says, let's split in the middle. I'll take the gold. You take the shmata. Says the other guy, whoa, who said you have to split it right here on the width? Maybe you split on the length. Right, who said to split it this way? We divide half and half. In other words, you divide half and half the value, whatever it is over here, that's how you split it. Now, we spoke about Tilna Talis. Now we talk about an actual document of a loan. Two people are holding on to the document. Who? The lender and the borrower. The lender says, it's mine. I fell. It was my star. I was about to take the money from the borrower, and it fell on the floor. I found it. The borrower says, the borrower says, yes, it's yours, but I paid you back. I give it back. Rebbe says, the Pasha Shalik was going to explain in a moment. The AD will come and they will say it's theirs, and then that'll be good. That's where the star will be okay. Shugamil says they split it, they divide it half and half. If it fell in the end of the dayon, you don't take it out forever. What does it explain? What does it mean fell in the end of the dayon? So you keep it the way it is. So we have to understand the price. One goes to explain it. You do kiyum shtar b'chaysvov. Master, you bring edim, and then what do you do with it? You go and extract the whole money. So if it lays shtar, what about our mishnah? Shtar b'chaysvov. We say if two people holding on to the towels, you split it. So why are you not splitting the shtar? If it's b'kuyom, if the shtar has kiyum and we know that the edim are right, so of course you divide it to half. You know the shtar is right, and they're both holding on to it, half and half. Keep give a shame in Mikuyom. Talk about a case that the shtar is not Mikuyom. I was never Mikayim the shtar. Rabbi says, yes, you have here, we have a din, when a person admits the shtar was good, you still need to bring 80. So it's almost, as we saw in Mesechus Ksuvis, it's like a pesha. The guy says, listen, I'm telling you the shtar is right. I don't have to say that. Even though I say the shtar is right, you still have to have kiyum. So I'll tell you the shtar is right, it's a perua. Without me, you don't know the shtar is right. I'm telling you the shtar is right. I'm telling you that I paid it off. So that's why you don't have to do anything. If you do kiyum, so then you split. If you didn't do kiyum, you don't split. It's a piece of paper that has no validity. So it's a chasa be'alma. What makes it a shtar and the shtar? How come it appears? He says paru. So what Rebbe says is kind of b'chaysu. Now it's kind of b'chaysu to give it to the malvin. It's kind of b'chaysu to split it. Without a kiyum, nobody gets anything. I mean, the malvin cannot extract the money. There's no loan over here. But if the malvin, if you do have kiyum chaysu, then you can go to the split. That's what Rebbe says. Shimon Gamliel Savar, he says he split right away. What does he hold? This is a rule. The Gabi stars. We saw it in Mesechus Ksuvis, right, in Daf Yutes. When a person goes and says, this shtar I wrote, it's not a mezuyif, it's not forged. So I don't have to, you can't say parua. It says, right, I see that a shtar has edim. If the shtar is not forged, you don't have to have a kiyum. The shtar works on its own. It has the power of Beis Din. That's the shtar works. The shtar has the power of Beis Din. So he means that Shugamliel, even without him, the minute he admitted that this shtar is not forged, he has to pay. Parua, you can't say parua. You can't say I paid it off. You paid it off. You should have tear it. You should have edim. You have no edim. You have no parua. Have a shtar. You don't have to have any kiyum. You can take money with the shtar. That's what more says. The loy mikayim le, even though he didn't do kiyum, the thing is yechloik. You still split it. If the shtar fell into the hands of a dayon, lo yoytzer lamis. Going the stairs, I couldn't do some shayim. The Gemara understands, it means that the Dayan found it. What's Shaykh is the Dayan found it? Who cares the Dayan found it or Shmuel found it? Who cares? So the Gemara Zayin would be, what's the Nikuda that's at the end of the Dayan? Somebody else found the star. Not the Dayan found the star. Somebody else found the star that is the hands of the Dayan. What does it mean, hands of the Dayan? That the Dayan was Mekayim it. That it was solidified. It got an action. How do you say Echsher Gabi Shtaris? Handpick. That's what it says. Handpick means there was a kashrus that says the star is a good star. They checked it in basically. Right? In other words, one fellow star that has in it a kiyum, you don't use it. Says the Gemara, of course, if it's no handpick, if there's no kashrus in it, you could say maybe this was written, but at the end of the day, he never lent it. Sometimes a person writes a star, he's intending to do a loan, but he doesn't do it in the end. And I feel because of even if it has handpick, it has the kiyum, then you know the star is a good star. Why? This man Dama holds that's the shita of that's what the Brisa brings. Nafal Adayin. Maybe there's Tanakama. Tanakama says Nafal Adayin. What does it mean Nafal Adayin? It has a handpick. Even if it has a handpick, you don't use it. Why not? Because maybe it was parua. So when it says Nafal Adayin, it means even Nafal Adayin, not the only Nafal Adayin. If I don't know better, I'm assuming it wasn't paid off. That's what it is. Says the Gemara, basically not maybe was paid off. It says in the Brisa, if you find a shtar ksuva in the market, if the husband admits that he still owes the ksuva, you give it to the wife. And if the husband says, no, I don't owe the money of the ksuva, so then you don't give it back. If she's still married, that she probably did not take away ksuva, because you get a ksuva only when you're divorced or when she's a widow. So then you give it back to the wife. But if she's now single, she was married, she's not married anymore, she either became a widow or she got divorced. So what does the Basi say? Other Rabbi comes very funny. Tanakama says that you chosh the piroin, you don't give it back to the issue. And the Basi says, well, depends. Sometimes I am chosh the piroin. If she's still married, I'm not chosh the piroin. Before the time, I'm not chosh the piroin. So more April. You have to turn around. You have to switch the gears. Nobody had the Basi says don't take it out. Why? Meaning I can't use it because maybe it was paid off. Says the Gemara, I'll probably because Rabbanan over here say they're not choishish in deer by ksuva. They say they do. So it says the Gemara, shtar ksuva kulir base. Really, the whole part of shtar ksuva, the whole price of shtar ksuva is a base. How do you read it? That's how you read it. Ain't about moed if the husband does not agree. Lo yachzir, lo lezev, lo lezeh. If the husband does not agree, you don't give it to anybody. But it's only if she got divorced or she's a widow. If she's still married, you give back the isha. Why? If she still has, we give the isha. Once you got divorced, then you chosh she got paid. But if not. Says the Gemara, yeah. So what does Gemara say? You see over here the Yechosh Lepiron. That's when once comes the time to be Pureh. I'm Chosh probably Pureh. So by Isha, you assume she got Piron once she got divorced, so she became a widow. And there's no Machlekes. That's all Rebbeis. But it says you're not Chosh Lepiron. So don't turn around. Yeah, basically, when they want to come, Rabbi says according to your brother, after leave Sam is Gash, I'm not Chosh Lepiron, not Chosh Lepiron ever. As long as it's a shtar, I'm not Chosh Lepiron. But according to you, or you do at least agree with me. Boy, at least when she's a husband under the wife, a wife who's still married. She should pay the ksuva. Says the Gemara, maybe he did give it sorry. Maybe he put money aside for it. Sometimes even if the Puran did not come, but maybe he put money in the side. He put for a tzor means that money, metaltalim. Say, if something happens to me, this is going to be for you. This should be your trust. So maybe there was some form of Puran. Really turn around, like we said before. You do turn around the first bryce. Meaning, Rabbanan here that say, and don't say that's all your basic. Really, Rabbanan are the ones to say that you don't give it back. Why don't you give it back? Because why don't you give it back? So you want to thought because of Piroin. But Rabbanan not the Piroin. So well, no, I'll tell you why. The reason you don't give it back is maybe she has two ksuvas. Maybe she has two ksuvas. What does it mean? Look at Rashi. Rashi says. Rashi says, the cash of the Rabban, the well, who's still Rabban. Not think that the Rabban ksuv lama should chashipur. Not chash to be paid back. The man the par of the adul ishtor leal the karli. Someone who pays, he usually tears it away. So we're not chash piron. Elam should the chashino on the shtei ksuves. Maybe there's another ksuva. Shema chazar because the ksuva acher shniyah lachar shnav zez biyoto. Once you lost the first ksuva, you want another ksuva. Not saying I paid her back. Mean what? Really, we're not going to pay on. Someone has a star, you probably didn't pay back. But maybe there's two stars over here. So don't give it back, she has another star. Rabbi says she takes suvas like Chayish. Rabbi is not going to do stars. The two suvas. Okay, so that's the Gemara says that Machlekes regarding Chosh Pura and not Chosh Pura in discussion, who holds what? Chosh that a star that's still written was paid back with it. Says now the Gemara, so this whole case that Malvin and Levi holding on to the star, they're both holding all parts of the star. The Taifis and the Taif. The Taifis, what the Taif is, what the Taif? Very rational into the Sugi. The Taifis is where it says the names and the story. The Torah says the Zman, the time. So if they're both holding both, then you say that it's going to be, then you say Yechleiku, and then the discussion that we have. One is holding on to the Torah where the names are. And one is holding on to the Torah where the Zman is. Zener till Torah, Zener till Torah. Then you split it in half. That one takes the Zman, then one takes the rest. And he wants to explain in a moment how do you do that. And Rechon says no, you split it, still split it. What we learned regarding talis, you just take what you're holding on to. So the one let's talk about the Metzia. Talk about the Torah is in the middle, and therefore you split it. What's the Kiddush? Similar to what we said before regarding the gold. The Torah of this man is closer to one person more than the other. Maybe you'll say, okay, maybe split the style like we said before. Split it like this, so you won't have the Torah. So he says, the guy answers back, why are you dividing to the width, to the length? Divide to the width. So now the comes to explain it. If one takes the Torah, takes the Torah. What do you need it? Does he need to cover his jar with it? I mean, what can he do with the Torah? Right? Says the Gemara, no, you do it for money. What do you mean for money? Right? How much is the difference in worth between a star that has a date and a star that does not have a date? The Gemara explains. If you have a time, if you have a zman, you take from Mishubadi. You're able to take from the Gvayos. And the other one, you're not going to Mishubadi. So, if I come and tell you, I give you two loans. There's a loan that you can't be given Mishubadi. There's a loan you could give Mishubadi. What's worth more? Mishubadi. How much is worth more? I don't know, maybe 5%, 10% is worth something. That's what you pay. That's it. There's the word, you pay the difference. You give it one in between. When I say you split in the money. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about we actually splitting into half. You cut the shtayim. You give the valuation of the money, as we just said. So well, be your raya, because what about talis? What tell me you cut the talis into half? If you cut the talis into half, what happens to it? It becomes worthless. It's a torn talis. Says the Gemara, you make it, it's a loss, it's not worth it. Says the Gemara, no, I look kasha, that's not a problem. It's a small clothing, and you can use it for a child, even if you cut it in half. We saw before that you split it even if you have gold in the middle. You're going to cut it with a knife. You'll be making loss. What do you do with a small bag that has gold in it? You can give it to an aristocrat or a child aristocrat. You have two people standing riding an animal. You split it. You're going to cut it to half. You're going to lose the animal. So if it's a kosher animal, you shecht it, you can eat it. But a behemoth has nothing to do with it. So the more I might have to say, it's coming for damim. The way I split it is I make a valuation, then we split the money, but I don't actually go and cut the thing in half. And this is very, we're talking, that's like almost like a mishpat shloimo. And Shlomo HaMelech, two women came. Who is the mother? Cut it to half. You cut it to half to kill the baby. So you don't cut it to half. You give the valuation, and that's what they share together. We'll stop over here. We're running out of time, and continue Be'ezer Hashem tomorrow from here.